The grandfather clock in the hallway struck 3 in the morning when Victor Ashford heard it, that faint scraping sound coming from downstairs. He sat up in bed listening carefully. His mansion had been empty for so long that even the smallest noise felt loud. Victor was 48 years old and had everything money could buy, yet his home felt hollow. His wife Claire had passed 2 years ago, and his daughter Rebecca lived across the country with her own family. Success in the tech industry had given him wealth beyond measure, but it could not fill the silence that greeted him each night. He pulled on his robe and walked quietly down the curved staircase. The marble floors were cold beneath his feet. As he approached the kitchen, he could see a dim light. Someone was definitely inside. His first thought was to call the police. Instead, something made him pause at the doorway. There, crouched beside his kitchen counter, was a little girl. She looked about 7 years old with tangled auburn hair that fell past her shoulders. Her clothes were worn and too thin for the November cold. In her small hands, she clutched a piece of bread from the loaf he had bought yesterday. She was eating it so quickly, like she had not seen food in days. Her eyes were wide and frightened when she saw him. Victor stood very still. He did not want to scare her more than she already was. The child froze with the bread halfway to her mouth. A tear rolled down her cheek, leaving a clean line through the dirt on her face. "Please, sir," she whispered. "I was just so hungry." Victor felt something crack open inside his chest, a thought of his own daughter at that age, how she had never known what it meant to go without anything. He cleared his throat gently and spoke, in the softest voice he could manage. "What is your name, sweetheart?" "Emma," she said, barely audible. "Well, Emma," Victor said, "if you were hungry, why did you not just knock on the door and ask?" The little girl looked down at the floor. "My mama said never. To bother rich people because they do not care about folks like us." Those words hit Victor harder than he expected. He walked slowly into the kitchen, making sure not to make any sudden movements. "Your mama was wrong about that," he said. "At least, about this rich person." He pulled out a chair at the kitchen table. "Why do you not sit down properly and let me make you a real meal?" Emma hesitated. Her eyes darted toward the back door she had apparently come through. "I promise you are safe here," Victor said. "No police, no trouble." Slowly, Emma climbed onto the chair. She was so small that her feet did not touch the ground. Victor opened the refrigerator and began taking out eggs, cheese, and vegetables. As he cooked, he asked her gentle questions. Emma told him she lived with her mother in a shelter 3 blocks away. Her father had left when she was 4. Her mother worked 2 jobs, but they were barely surviving. Tonight, her mother had come home so exhausted she fell asleep without dinner. Emma had been too hungry to sleep. She had walked through the neighborhood looking for help until she saw his kitchen window open just a crack. She was small enough to squeeze through. Victor placed a plate of scrambled eggs, toast, and fruit in front of her. Emma looked at it like it was a feast. "Go ahead," he said. She ate slowly this time, savoring every bite. Victor made himself a cup of coffee and sat across from her. He had not shared a meal with anyone in this kitchen for months. The silence had become his companion, but watching this child eat, he realized how much he had missed the simple act of caring for someone. When Emma finished, she looked up at him with those large hazel eyes. "Thank you, sir," she said. "That was the best food I ever had." Victor smiled. "You know, Emma, I was thinking," he said. "That window you came through is a security risk." Her face fell, thinking she was in trouble after all, "so I am going to need someone to come by regularly and help me check all the windows and doors." He continued, "Someone small who can fit in tight spaces." He paused. "The job pays in hot meals and maybe some groceries to take home to your mother." Emma's eyes went wide. "Really? Really?" Victor said. "But first we need to get you home before your mother wakes up and worries." He drove Emma back to the shelter in his car. She gave him directions in a quiet voice. When they arrived, he handed her a bag with bread, milk, eggs, and fresh fruit. "This is just the start," he said. I will be back tomorrow to talk to your mother about that job. Emma hugged the bag to her chest. Why are you being so nice to me? She asked. I tried to steal from you. Victor thought about that question. He thought about all the years he had spent building his business, all the hours away from his own family, all the chances he had missed to show kindness because he was too busy chasing success. Because someone should have been this nice to you a long time ago, he said finally. And because you remind me that there are more important things than being rich. The next day, Victor returned. He met Emma's mother, Sarah. She was 32 but looked older from exhaustion and worry. When Victor explained that he wanted to help, Sarah broke down crying. I do not want charity, she said through her tears. It is not charity, Victor replied. I am offering your daughter a job as my official window and door inspector. He smiled, and I might need someone to help organize my home office too. Over the following weeks, something remarkable happened. Emma came by 3 times a week after school. She would check the windows as Victor had suggested, making a game of it. Then they would sit together in the kitchen. Sometimes Victor helped her with homework. Sometimes they just talked. Learned about her dreams of becoming a teacher. She learned about his late wife and the daughter he rarely saw. Sarah eventually agreed to work part-time managing Victor's household affairs. It gave her better hours and more time with Emma. Victor found himself looking forward to their visits. His mansion began to feel less like a monument to emptiness and more like a home. 6 months later, Victor was driving past the shelter when he saw it was being closed down. The city had cut funding. He made a decision that would have shocked his business partners. He bought a small apartment building near his home and converted it into affordable housing. He hired Sarah as the property manager. Emma and her mother moved into one of the unit's other families. From the shelter followed. Victor set up a community kitchen and a homework room for the children. His accountant told him he was being foolish. His lawyer said he was too emotionally involved, but Victor did not care. For the first time in years, he felt truly wealthy. Not because of his bank account, but because he had people to share his life with. On Emma's 8th birthday, Victor threw her a party in his backyard. Her mother was there, along with families from the apartment building. Even Victor's daughter, Rebecca, flew in with her children. As Victor watched Emma blow out her candles, he thought about that November night. The night a hungry child had climbed through his window looking for bread. She had stolen food, but she had given him something far more valuable. Purpose. A year after that night, Emma came running into Victor's study. Victor, she shouted breathlessly. She had started calling him by his first name months ago at his insistence. Look what I got. She held up a report card, all A's. I am so proud of you, Victor said, pulling her into a hug. It is because you helped me study. Emma said, no. Victor replied, it is because you work hard and you are brilliant. Emma smiled, then grew serious. Victor, can I ask you something? Anything. That night when you found me in your kitchen, she said, why did you not call the police? Victor had wondered when she would ask this. He thought carefully about his answer. Do you know what I saw when I looked at you that night? He said. Emma shook her head. I saw a little girl who was brave enough to risk everything just to feed herself, he said. I saw someone who deserved a chance, not punishment. He paused, and I saw an opportunity to become the person I always wanted to be. Emma hugged him tight. You are the best person I know, she whispered. Victor felt tears in his eyes. He had spent decades building an empire. But this little girl's love and trust, this was his greatest achievement. Years would pass. Emma would graduate high school with honors. She would go to college on a scholarship. She would become the teacher she always dreamed of being, but she never forgot the millionaire who chose kindness over judgment. The man who saw a hungry child and offered not just food, but hope. And Victor never forgot the little girl who taught him that true wealth is not measured in dollars. It is measured in the lives we touch and the love we share. Sometimes the greatest gifts come wrapped in the most unexpected packages. Sometimes grace arrives at 3 in the morning through an open window, and sometimes the person who appears to need saving is actually the one who saves you. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like and share it with others who might need to hear this message. Today, subscribe to hear more stories about kindness and second chances. Leave a comment below and tell us about a time when someone showed you unexpected grace or when you had the opportunity to help someone in need. Your story might inspire someone else to choose compassion over judgment.